Good morning, everybody. Well, I suppose, is it morning after midday? Is it technically the afternoon? I don't know. Or is it only afternoon at 1 o'clock? I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, hi. Righto. Moving on. So what are we doing today? Let's have a look. What were we doing yesterday? Loads of stuff. Yesterday we were trying to, let's have a look, check the project status. Here we go. We were doing check status yesterday over here, and today we're going to try and do this one. Actually, run the phase and record which placements have been raised. Which placements have been placed. Sorry. But before we get onto that, I just want to do a quick update to stuff I did off stream yesterday. Yes, much things happened like in it. What happened? Loads of stuff. Some refactoring occurred. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at the project structure now. So yesterday in the planning there was only a project. The only thing that existed in here was the mod and the project. And now all these other ones have magically appeared. Oh, where did they all come from? Well, they came from inside the planner file. So loads of things that were inside this file have now been moved to their respective modules. Much more appropriate structure for things. And it also means they can be reused by things that aren't that binary, which is obviously where we want to be going long term. Because the CLI is just, one way of updating the project, but a GUI is another way of updating the project. And all this stuff that we're making needs to be done by both. So what's left in the planner? That's the question. Well, not a lot, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So what have you got? You've got a main method, great. You've got some commands, great. And you've got some options. And that's literally it, which is fantastic. So if you scroll through this, you go file, you got some imports, great. Dependencies, you've got some options, you've got a command, you've got all the commands and all the arguments for them, and then you've got a main method which runs the commands. And all the code that they use is located in the respective modules, which is much nicer. Now it's possible that some of these things will make into methods rather than associated functions at some point, but I didn't want to go that far as part of the moving code. I wanted to move code first, and then we can decide whether this should be like project dot refresh from design variants at some point in the future. Is probably the case, because it takes a mutable project, right? And there's a few of them like this, so we'll poke those around later. But they are no longer in this file, which is the important thing, and that's the entire binary. Fantastic. That's it. We want to achieve the same thing with this variant builder at some point. I had a quick go at poking this around yesterday, but there's the creation of a variant is one thing that this is doing, and then it's also sort of displaying results and things like this, and mapping trees and writing CSV outputs, so it's doing sort of too much at the moment, but we need to break this up a little bit. I started doing it yesterday, but then backed out the changes because I wasn't happy with them. But anyway, another thing that happened yesterday was sorting of issues, which actually turned out to be quite non-trivial, in fact. So in the report code, I had to do a whole bunch of extra tests for this giant sorting method, for sorting report issues, because a report issue has three things. It's got a message, a severity, and a kind, right? And you want the severe messages first, and then ones of a particular kind need to be ordered before a different kind, right? And then if you've got two issues that have got the same severity and the same kind, then they need to be sorted by the message content. So it needs to be sorted by three things. And in order to do that, there was a fair amount of code that had to be written for that. So we created some sort ordering, severity, descending order, kind, ascending order, message, ascending order, and so on. And we had to do all this. We had to create ordinals, And it's possible that for enums we can use a crate that gives us an ordinal and so on. But I didn't want to always have a fixed order for these things. So if you use like a crate which gives you an ordinal for an enum, as in the first thing is 0, the second thing is 1, and so on, you know, like this, you know, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that you can't sort them by any other order if you want to at a later date, because you have to sort of change the ordinal. You have to reorder the ordinals. It's like, so you don't necessarily want that. So I went without, you know, I have my own ordering scheme, which is this. And then at some point, if you have a GUI and you want to sort these in a different way, then potentially you could. But that would be sort of like GUI land. But for like project report content, this is fine. And this is sort of how we want things. So they're in order of sort of like most, you know, when you're setting up a project, like the order that the errors could occur is the order of the ordinal. And then, you know, warning and severe, and then we sort of descending order. So you could do most important first or least important first, you know, in the ordinal, and then change the sort order to be ascending. But I thought I'd go with descending because then I've got a reason to have this chunk of code which reverses the order. Yeah, so there was that implementation there. So yeah, it was a bit of a faff. So the kind one was a bit tricky because you had to sort first. You have to get the ordering for the ordinal of the kind, and then if the ordinal ordering is equal, then you have to look at the details of the kind and then compare those as well, which is right faff. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that happened. Yeah, and some other sort of minor changes occurred as well. Let's have a quick look at the commit history from yesterday. Yeah, some minor things, yeah. Detect more issues. Oh yeah, and we also added the where is it? I've lost my file. Where's my file? Come back, file. All is forgiven. It's in my stashes, isn't it? Yeah, yesterday we sort of came up with this list. I added the rest of these things as well. I didn't, however, add that many tests for these things. I'll probably add some tests for these unit tests at some point in the future, but I didn't want to go through our big sort of sequence test and add the generate artifacts at each stage, as I mentioned yesterday. So at some point we'll create some unit tests for the methods and make sure that these are spat out properly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's get on to today's stuff. So we're going to try and do this one. So running a phase and then recording which placements have been placed. Now, running a phase, we can't actually do that yet because we don't have a pick and place machine to run a phase on. But if the process was manual, you wouldn't have a machine to run it on anyway if you were manually placing things. So everything's fine. When you run a phase, I don't think there's actually anything to do with the project. Because basically you go, I'm going to run a phase, and the project goes, okay, so what? I don't care. It's only at the point where you put the first component on the board do you need to actually update the project. And the bit in the project that we need to update is in the placement state. And there's a flag here which says placed, right? So what we need is some way of setting this flag to true for a list of ref deses, perhaps. It seems fairly reasonable to just, you know, run the command and say, I put all these on, yay. I mean, you don't really want to run the same command like multiple times with like one ref des at a time because that would be annoying. So a list of ref des is probably good. Somewhere else in our code base, we use the list of ref des. I believe that was in the variant builder where we're creating an assembly variant. So let's have a quick look at that for a moment. Ref des disable list. So we've got this, a list of reference designators to disable. This, right? So we want a command that's got something similar to this, but just like ref des. So that's fine. Okay. All right, then let's go. So back to our planner. Close everything else, and let's find the tests. Planner tests. Okay, good. So we're going to create another thing, another test in our sequence of tests. So this one becomes 11. And we're going to borrow the same bits that we always borrow for all of these sequence tests. Oh, here we go. Borrowing code. And what's this going to be? This is going to be number 10. And it's going to be place, record placements, I suppose. Placements. Record placement operations. Placed, I suppose. Something like that. And potentially you could say that you skipped something. I don't know. Maybe placed isn't the only thing. Anyway, let's think about that another day. Record placement operations. So the only operation we're going to be able to record at the moment is placed. But in the future, we might want to have a different operation that's been recorded for a given placement. Sounds reasonable to me. Okay, so this needs to be sequence 10, and then we need some args, and we need to run the command and then do some assertions. So args and running a command is this. Args, no, not generate artifacts. It's like record placement operation. Now I've got operations here because there's more than one ref des that you might be doing. Record placement operations, but there's only ever one operation that you're recording, but it's for multiple ref des. So I'm a bit confused as to how to name this argument right now. I suppose it makes sense like this. Or is it record placements operation like this? Yeah. Or is it just record operation? Yeah, let's say placements operation. Let's do it like this for now. Okay, that's what we're doing. Right. And we want a list of ref deses. Was it like this? Who remembers? Let's have a look at the test. This is how we specified it in the other one, so let's borrow that. So we've got ref dash des. Seems okay, but it's not a test point 1, a test point 2. So the things that we can actually place is R1 and R3. Okay, so we're going to say we're going to place those. Okay, right. So that's what we sort of want, like that. Yeah, okay, let's run it. Compiling. God, it used to be years ago that you could go for a coffee break when you're compiling your code because it took so long. But now you're lucky if you get 2 sips of coffee, isn't it? Look. Oh, it's compiled. More work. Compiling. Isn't there an XKCD thing about compiling? Isn't there one? XKCD compiling. I'm sure there is. Yeah, this one. Here it is. Compiling. The #1 program's excuse for legitimately slacking off. Hey, get back to work. Compiling. Oh, carry on. Love XKCD. Right. Okay. Right, so unrecognized subcommand. This is good. Okay, so let's make this bit pass. Here we go to the planner, don't we? Yes, here we go. So, yeah, generate artifacts. And it'll be, I don't know. What did we say? Record placements operation. That's what we said. Record placements operation. I mean, it doesn't really help much. Okay, and then we said we want a refdes list, and refdes list looked like this. List of reference designators. To apply the operation to. I suppose we need the operation as well, don't we? Let's add that in here. Placed. Yeah, that should probably work. Is this going to be with a capital P? Let's go with the capital P to start with. I can't remember how we do our enums. I just keep forgetting. I suppose we can have a quick look at the planner tests, because in the planner test we've got all the helps for the other ones, and the process is an enum, right? Is it? No, it's not. What other enums have we got? We've got search for possible values, so it's all lowercase. Okay. So we go back to this. Go back to this. So it's all lowercase. Right. Good. Let's move that. I think we can close these now. Right. Now that should work. Now we need the operation. I suppose it's the completed operation to apply. Yeah, something like that. And if we say operation and go operation arg as opposed to operation. Yeah. Okay, so we need one of these. Now we've got a place for all our args now. Happy args mod. Here's one we made earlier. So let's do the same thing. And it's going to be placed, right? And we're going to specify the values placed like this. Which is apparently the way we do. Oh, I need the word enum there. That would help, wouldn't it? All right, and then we're putting the clap things, not the surde things, the clap things for CLI stuff. Right. And I think Yeah, we're gonna need one of these. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me just look at this. We need to probably clean these up a little bit. We've got a mix of like impulse of like to and then a blah and then from and then implementations of from and implementation of from, and then we've got a build. We need to clean all these up. Because there's a bunch of different ways of doing it, apparently. Which one do we like the best? These ones I like best. Because you say what you want, and you say what you're going from, and you do it. We're going to do the same process for this. But we're going to say for operation. We're going to need this. We don't need it just yet, but we're just going to do it. Because it's simples. And then it's going to be placed. Right. So this operation thing doesn't exist here yet. Is this a placement operation? I think it should be a placement operation. Let's rename this to placement operation. Arg. Yeah. Okay, that looks better. So now back in our planning placement thing, we've got, placement state, and we've got this, and so on. We're not going to use that in our placement state yet, but we are going to define it. Done. We need to make it pop. All right, fine. Only getting slightly ahead of ourselves here. Placement operation, import. Okay, good. Everything's fine. Right, so back to this. So this is going to be placement operation arg, which we import. Finally, there we go. Right, and we need to say that it's an arg and that we want the equals. Okay, but we called it operation because it's specifically for the placement, so you don't need to repeat the word placement in the name of the argument, I feel. That's what I feel. Operation placed. Okay, what happens now? It's going to spit out some like random project error or something like this, I think. Oh, we got unused import. We'll fix that up. Camel. Another sip of coffee then, I suppose, isn't it? Compiling. Right. What happened? Yeah, it's doing that because we haven't got an implementation for the command. A match arm. Record placement operation. And when we do that, we need to go to do. Right. Okay. I know we're going to need to load the project, so we'll just slap that there for now. And we're probably going to need to save the project as well. So let's just make it load and save the project for now. We're going to need to do more, clearly, because we're not using these things yet, but we'll come to that. But we want to get the test passing. Does it pass now? And our survey says, why is it compiling a lot more? It seems to be compiling a lot more today. Is it just my imagination? Okay. Look, it passes. Right, but we've broken this, and we need to add our help test as well. Let's fix this one up first. So that is what we need to add. Somewhere here. Right. It'd be nice if the IDE had better support for indoc when pasting. I might add a an issue for that on the JetBrains issue tracker. Yeah, I'm sure they could work it out. Okay, so we need another test. Right, this was the last one we added. Plop. So we'll make it do the thing. So what we said we were going to do was this. So this is help for, and then this test, this thing, this argument, this command. Which one of those things is it? One of those. So not at. Right, and it has some arguments, and it's going to tell us what they are, and also the formatting of them. Yeah, see, it's doing lots more compiling today. It's being weird. I might have to do a little clean or something to see what's going on with that. It's a bit weird. Why is it moaning? Oh, I did it again, look. Always forget to do this one as well. Okay. Yeah, look. It seems to be doing a lot more compiling, yeah. Like it shouldn't need to recompile all this all the time. Right, so now we've finally got our list of stuff. So we can put these in the appropriate place. Okay, look, let's just take the whole lot. Ah, what happened there? There. Options, yeah, that's it. And then we need these. Go. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna need to fix that. Let's see if we can do a cargo clean in a moment. Okay, it builds. It passes. Fantastic. Let's do a... Is it build? Target. Yeah. Don't forget to say hi in the chat if you're watching the stream. Nice to know who's around. Right. Let's just make it compile everything again. Okay, so it runs the command, but the command all the command does at the moment is load and save the project. So clearly we need to do some more than that. So probably we need to assert that some message appears and then look at the project content, right? Because what we need to do is check that flag. Now, the last test that asserted the project content is this one. So we basically need, it needs to be exactly the same as it is in this one, but with those flags set to true. So there's quite a lot of copying and pasting right now. I'm not entirely happy with all the copying and pasting, but it's not the end of the world. It'd be worse if we weren't using the builder pattern, which we did start to use. Right. So we've got our expected project content, right? And we said we wanted to place R1 and R3. So this needs to be true. And this needs to be true. And everything else is the same. But now we need to assert that. So we need to go back to the test that had the assertion. And we're going to borrow these two assertions. Because we've got some trace content where we want to record things that happened. And then we've got the project content which we need to assert. So we're going to copy that. And maybe we can clean up all these assertions and deduplicate them at some point. When then this. And then we're going to need a to-do here. Which is probably going to be something like setting placed flag. And then ref des maybe, and then like R1 and then R3 because we specified them in R1 and R3 on the command line. Yeah, okay, let's make that happen then. Okay, let's just see if it runs and compiles. Might have to clear the IDE's caches or something. Right, so yeah, it fails for the right reason. So it doesn't print out this. That's good. Okay, let's make it happen. So let's do this in the right place. So we're just going to go something like project and then apply, well, record, update, placement operation, update placements operation, and we're going to give it a list of the ref deses. And the operation to apply, and we're going to say it might fail, and I suppose we need the project. Okay, but this currently is operation arg. No. Placement operation, thank you very much. So that means we need to go dot into here. Yes, and that will cause the that will then use this to convert it from the arg to the operation. because there's no CLI dependencies in this module at all. Right? Only the CLI things only live in the CLI module or the CLI bins themselves. Does it compile? Should be right. It should just say these are all unused now. Oh yeah, we need to make it return something. Now other things that do stuff and return stuff currently, like this is, here's one. No, yeah. I mean, can it fail? I don't know. Other ones that do this, so I still sort of, I'm a little bit woolly on this anyhow stuff. I was reading some of the documentation earlier today about, you know, the better ways of doing stuff. Like, should we be using a result, the anyhow result, right? And that's sort of what people seem to say here, but I need to read up a little bit more about that. Does it compile? Should do. We've got an unused import. Let's clean up this unused import. Combine. And we don't need this either. There we go. Right. So everything's fine there now. Good. Okay. So now we can write that. Should be fairly easy. Let's have a look. I suppose we iterate over the project's placements and then look at the things in the refdes, because it's going to be shorter and quicker that way, because it's going to be, well, I suppose at some point if you recorded all of it, it would be the same. Yeah, it doesn't really make much difference. Let's iterate over the project. Project placements itermut. And then go if maybe placement dot, oh wait, this is an entry. Oh, that's another thing that happened yesterday actually. I got rid of unit path. Now initially we had this unit path concept, and then we added object path when we started adding reference designators. But I've gone back and deleted the deleted unit path, so now we just have object paths and that's it. That was a bit of a faff. I went around the houses quite a few times trying to work out what to do there. So we're looking for the refdes. So I suppose if we go if refdes list contains this refdes, then change it. Well, I suppose we need to go match operation, and there's only going to be one thing, and we set the flag. But we need to print the message out only if the flag hasn't been set. So I suppose what we can do, we could get funky with our match. So if we say match the operation and the current state, we could do that. I don't really fancy it. And then we're going to print out the message. So it's going to be info, and then we said some message. And the message was in our test somewhere. This. Like that, I suppose. And this is unused, we don't need it. Yeah, and I suppose we just go okay, whatever. There are a few ways that this could go wrong. For instance, you could specify a refdes that doesn't exist. I mean, what should you do? Do we validate the refdes even exist? I mean, it might be useful. Let's put a future comment in here. Verify that the refdes is valid for the project. That each refdes it might be quick. It might be quicker and easier to do it the other way around then. In that case, so if we iterated over this and then went to the project to get the placement that had that thing in it, then you would know whether it exists. Go on then. Let's do it like that. Let's poke it around a little bit. Let's poke it around. Okay. So this is like attempt 1. No. Let's go refdes list. Right. Then we're going to go project dot. Well, we've got these placements, right? Placements dot, and then we're going to find one. And we want to mutate it once we find it. And we're supposed to return true if we find it. Right. So then if we've got a placement, then we do the stuff that we did before, which was this. Right. Ooh, look at all the nesting. Yay. Match placement. Oh yeah. And then if there's not one, do we just bail here? Or do we log an error message? What should we do? Let's go. Well, we do have a test. I suppose if we said x1 like this, we could look for a message, right? Invalid or unknown, yeah. Refdes. Unknown refdes specified, and then go the refdes was x1. So that's what we're going to make it do. We're going to go warn. Here we don't need to use this one. We can go just refdes because we're iterating over it here, right? And that's the same refdes here. Oh yeah. And this needs to be object path placement state, really. I think this is going to be better. Right, done. Unused. It's going to be better this way. What happens? Do you think pass or fail? I'm going to go with pass. I'm feeling lucky. There might be some string error, but I don't know. Other than that, we're so close. Okay, unknown refdes specify refdes x1. Oh. What did it print out then? So it set this one, that's good. So why didn't it do this one? We put x1 here. And there's no more content. That's a bit weird. Oh, duh, because I haven't finished writing this. It always returned the first one. That was funny. I'm like, okay, all right. The clue was in the warning. Yeah. Right, moving on. So I suppose we have to go if place. Well, this is actually object path placement state. So we go if placement state dot placement dot refdes is the same as the refdes that we're looking for, then return true. Okay, might work now. Can't remember everything all the time. This is why we have tests. Developers can't be expected to remember everything. Right, hey, it passes. All right, we're done. Great, we've done the process. I think we've done the process. What else do we need to do? I don't think anything at this point. I think we can actually use the entire process now. Let's have a look. Let's do a commit first, and then we'll look at where we are. This is very exciting, this is, because we can actually do a trial run of this thing now, I think. Right, what do? We record placement operations. Yeah, I suppose. Record placement operations. Amazing. Yeah, cool. So we've got our test. Let's get rid of the structure for a moment so we can review this a bit easier. So yeah, we've got this, we've got all that, we've got the 10, blah blah blah, some placements, and then we've got the true flags and the other true flag. Yeah, good. Got some args, everything's placed. Too much white space. We're good. Fine. Okay, so how do we do it? We poked the planner a bit. Added a new command. And then added a new method which did what we wanted to do. Yeah, all looks good. And in order to do that, we needed an argument, which was this. And we needed a placement operation, which we don't serialize, so there's no Surde things on that. And there may be more in the future. And then we added a method to do what we needed to do, which was that, which can't ever fail apparently, which I guess is nice. At some point in the future it might be able to fail, like, I don't know, maybe you specify another operation but something else has already been applied to it, so it's invalid. So we'll keep the error handling there for now. Okay, done. Okay, let's run all tests with default features. Yeah, my IDE seems to be doing lots of compiling. Earlier today I ran the I ran all the tests with coverage, but we still have the problem where running the integration test with coverage doesn't include the coverage reports for the command being run. So we still need to work that out. We need to sort of combine these things. Okay, so those tests pass. But I think that's what's confused my ID's compiling stuff, because it seems to be doing lots more compilation than it normally does. Like this bit. It didn't used to take as long doing this. It shouldn't need to be recompiling clap and all of these things every time. It's like the incremental compilation is broken or something currently. Right, and they all pass, so that's good. And I just want to eyeball it on the command line. This. And this. And we're good. Wow, loads of tests. That's good. Alright, so let's push that. This is the one I had earlier. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to this. And let's replace this. No, not that. How can I select that? I mean, I literally drew this like yesterday, so why is it not on top? There we go. Right. Good. And then this. Cha-ding! Yeah. And, you know, you can already do this. Cha-ching! Because you just run the command again, right? So let's just say tick until we know that it's broken. There's no run phase yet, because we don't have a pick-and-place machine. But there's actually nothing to do there, I don't think. So I guess what this means is we can do a test run of using the tool for real now. For a manual placement operation. We could pretend that we're doing a job. Should we try that? Should we give it a go? Seems reasonable. Savey. Alright then. So, yeah. Okay. So shall we take an existing real world design, or shall we take like some random thing? Let's take a real world design, because I'm trying to fix my problem of my workflow being broken. So this is only going to work for me if it works with my existing designs, right? So let's see if we can do this. Okay, let's do a simple one and see where we get to. Right, so we've got dip trace. Come on. I've not loaded this for a while, so I think it's a little bit confuzzled. Come on, where's my mouse pointer? There it is. Right, let's open something else instead. No, we don't want to save any changes. Goodbye. Let's pick the design I did recently for ELRS. Here we go. Why not? This is a nice little receiver. Right. This is what we're gonna test it with, just so that everyone sees it. Okay. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this little board. It's got a bunch of parts on it. Some are through hole, some are not, and there's some stuff on both sides. Now, the stuff on both sides might be a bit of an issue, but we're just going to pretend. Oh, and it's also panelized, but we're just going to do a single one for now. We're going to see what happens. So the first thing we said we've got to do is export the placements from the EDA tool, right? Let's do that. Big place. All the things. I have no idea how this is going to go, so, you know, we're going to see. Export to file. Where are we going to put it? Do we have, yeah, links? MakerPnP. Let's put it here. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Right, so we've got to remember, what are we actually exporting here? We've got component side, we've got all, which is good. So let's just call it SP rating RX N1 Rev B. PnP. Right. So we should have a placements file. Let's see if we can find that file. There he is. Okay. What does it look like in the IDE? It looks like this. There we go. Right. So what's the first thing we've got to do? Let's go back to our little design in EDA. Great. Choose a PCB support plate. One of these, please. Export the placement for the design. Did it. We're going to choose a process. Manual process. Okay. Choose quantity. 1. Because we don't have support for more than one yet. Choose variants for each design. The only variant. Build variants for each design. Okay, let's do that. Yes, we need our variant builder. Right. Who remembers how to run the variant builder? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Right, in our target directory, debug, here we go. We've got a planner and a variant builder. So let's say target, debug, variant builder. And this is what you get. And we want to do build. And it says, this is what you got to do. The following arguments are required but not provided. Alright, so let's do it. EDA foo. Okay, EDA dip trace. Fine. Then we need placements. Oops. It says a value is required for placements. All right, then fine. So this is going to be in here, projects, this one, that one. Fine. Following arguments are not provided with parts. Right, I'm going to specify this file, but this file does not exist yet. Part mappings. And that file does not exist yet either. And then the output. Was this a directory or a file? I don't remember. I think it's the current directory, isn't it? Well, let's say projects. I think it's just like that. There we go. Missing field X. Well, fine. We didn't do that right then, did we? So, right. Houston, we have a problem. So in our CSV file, we've been naughty developers, I think. We've got this center X, blah, center Y. So we've got two choices. One, fix the variant builder so it looks for the placements with the right column names for dip trace. Or two, change these. Well damn. Maybe we can add aliases to the variant builder. Okay, let's have a look. So we've got a variant builder. And it comes along and it goes build assembly variant. And then it says load EDA placements. And then it says use the dip trace placement record if the EDA tool is dip trace, right? So it's trying to deserialize into these. And this has got X and Y, right? No. So when we're using this CSV thing, it's using Serde. So let's have a look. Serde CSV alias, column alias, yeah, it's alias. Because this is what you can do. You can field attributes and you can say alias. May be repeated to specify multiple names for the same field. So fine. Let's just slap some aliases on it and see what happens. Here we go. Alias center X millimeters. Right. And then we're gonna run the tests to make sure it compiles. I think that was right? Center X millimeters, yeah. And then we've got this, probably got going to have the same thing for a rotation, but I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look. No, rotation's okay. I don't know whether the alias needs to be in the same case. And yes, we're going to need some tests for all this stuff at some point. Right. So, okay. Loaded 82 placements. Ta-da-da-da. So that worked. Okay. To do add tests for aliases. Okay. It's actually dip trace 4.x CSV column for default. Headers. Yeah. Okay, right. Next. The system cannot find the file specified. Yes. One of the things that we're not doing very much of at the moment, which we need to improve, is the context. Like, because that error message is completely useless. What's going on with the stream? YouTube is not. Hold on. Something's funky's going on with the. This, I don't know. Is anyone having issues with streaming? Yeah, this is. I might have to restart the streaming. Oh no, it's okay again now. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Stream is fine here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, it came up with a poor connection warning for a moment. It's not done that before. Right. Hi, Darkman. Yes. System cannot find a file specified. Right. So this is what we're trying to fix. Like, where, what is going on? No idea. It's probably like one of these two files that it's trying to load. Right. So if we said touch, everyone likes a good bit of touching. Oh dear. There we go. And now it says loaded 0 parts. So clearly this message was related to that file, right? But we didn't know that. And it didn't tell us which file it was. So we can definitely improve that. Let's have a quick look. I don't want to get, if these little things that we need to do take up too much time, I'm just going to make a note and then come back to them. But have a quick look at each problem we face, because there might be quick, easy fixes. Right, so variant builder. So it goes loaded placement. We haven't said anything about substitution rules, disabling place, and then it's got loaded parts. So we're talking about load parts. And then we've got this question mark here, you see. So, but apparently what you can do is go dot context loading parts like this. I think it's something like this, but I need to look at how it's supposed to work. Let's have a look. So here, this is what they do. They go blah, right? But why can they do dot context? They got with context. Ah, you see, they've got this. So let's see if we can do the same as that. Where does this with context come from? Failed to open parts path, I suppose. I'm kind of curious to know what they're using here. There's a string reference. Now, in most of our code, we're not doing it like this. And this gives us an option for some reason. But we've got this parts path buff. Can we go toaster on that? No. I mean, what happens if unwrapping fails? We still don't have this with context thing. Where does this come from? Where does it come from? Let's have a look at the example. Context. So anyhow context. So we're going to try that. Now what? Okay, apparently it doesn't apply to a reader builder. Do we have to go? Do we have to do it there? Because it probably applies to a result, right? And then we've got this CSV reader with context. Let's see what happens now. I mean, it compiles. And we're going to remove that file that we just created. And we're going to run it again. So it says fail to open blah 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 caused by whatever. That's much better. Let's learn more a little bit about this context thing, because it's got with context, and then it's got reads to string, and then it's got this context. So open can fail, and read to string can fail. But you've already got the context, so this is like an extra thing. Okay, all right, yeah, fine. Let's say error reading parts, file, and then the thing. I think that's going to be better, right? So we're going to wait for it to build. Probably enough. Error reading parts, file, blah 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 blah. There we go. That's better. That's good. We like that. Right. We're going to have the same thing for the other things that same problem for the other stores that we use to load CSV files. There we go. I managed to get the words out. So the part mappings, we do it in the same way. So we go from path with context. And we say, yeah, we do it like this. So we go with context, and the context goes here, and then you get with context on the result. Take the semicolon off. Error reading part mappings, and then we go part mappings path. Sure. And look, we can improve this to do probably in the same way. Let's say, well, Yeah, let's fix the parts one. Because this has been floating around for a while. Well, we've got this result here. So I suppose here we could go with context. Deserializing part record. Oh. I suppose you can just go right here. Can we? No. What do we do? Replace with, oh I see, just .toString, fine. I've got too many brackets. Too many brackets, not enough brackets, there we go. So here we've got this build part, and this can fail. So let's also do this. Since we're in the mood for adding contexts, with context error building part from record, and this, I suppose we can format this and we can put the record here and then put a question mark and then always push it. And then get rid of this to do, perhaps? Something like that, maybe? Build part gives us a result. We've got the record. Which is the part record. Part record doesn't implement display. Oh, yeah. We need to go colon question mark in here. And what do we want to say here? Why? Are we missing a bracket? Yeah, we are. We're missing a bracket. There we go. No? Are we still missing brackets? So this isn't an error here. Build part doesn't give us an error. Should it be like that? Yes. Okay, we'll try that. And then we'll just update the other ones to do the same thing, right? Unused import bail. This is good. So I suppose if we touch that file, foo, oh. Some random badly formatted CSV file, and let's just run it now. There we go. Happy error messages. Error deserializing part record caused by this stuff. Record found with 3 fields, but the previous record has 2 fields. This is good. It's good. So we've got some errors, so we know it's working. Fine. So we've got loading parts, which we can now remove. Goodbye. We need to do the same for the parts, part mappings. So this is the part, so let's open up part mappings over here, and then let's sort of make this one look like this one. So we've got this result, and we add a context to it, right? Take that off, slap that in there, deserializing part mapping record. Okay, and then we say let part mapping is one of these things. But we say with context. Alright. Something like that. Go. Unused import. Fail. And for good measure, we need to do the other ones as well. So the loadout ones are CSV. Right. So we go from path, take that off, slap that in there, load out path, yeah, that gives us this context now, good. Yes, this is going to be much better, isn't it? With context. Yeah, we could probably use a macro for most of these things at some point. Deserializing loadout record. And then we do this one as well. With context. Why does this fail? Because this doesn't return anyhow error. Right. Oh, that was interesting. Did the part mapping already do that then? Oh, right. This is oh, I see. This one returns an error, but this error is all it derives from error. That's why we didn't have to change it. That's interesting. Okay, moving on. So we've got that. Let's have a quick look at these placements. Yeah, substitution. Yeah, another one. We'll fix them all up. We'll be consistent. Reading substitutions. Wow, we did a lot. It's been a while since we looked at this code, isn't it? Then we need these ones. Plop. And this one. And we're deserializing sub. Oh, STIT, substitution record. Building substitution from record. And then record is this, then we print it out, and everything's fine. Okay. EDA placement. Same deal. From placements. Get rid of that. Select that in. Placements path. Error substitution file. Wait. Reading. Error reading placements. What happened here? Oh dear. Reading. Not quite sure what happened there. Anyway, moving on. EDA placements. That's going to go over here. We're going to copy the things into it. Placements. So here we've got the record that we're dealing with. And then we've got another one. And this is a placement record. And then we've got this one. Bit tedious. And what is this? This is a placement. And that's better. And then we've got some assembly rules. So we deal with the assembly rules as well. I'm going to come back and do the other things in a moment. Okay, something like that. And then this is assembly rule, we said. Right, and this build assembly rule needs to return an anyhow error. Perhaps. Okay, I think we did them all. We've got an unused import. Any more? Another unused import. And probably another one. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. Right, done. Let's do a commit for those. I suppose this is just like stores, improve, error handling. Quick review. Let's close all tabs in group. There we go. Let's click build on that again. Okay. Shout if you see any problems. Put a comment below if you spot anything during these reviews that I don't see, like too much white space, typos, you know, all that kind of thing. And go back and look at the comments and update the code accordingly. It's not a problem. Okay. Now obviously we didn't have any tests for all these changes that we're doing. So, you know, we can spend some time improving the test coverage for the error handling. Right, where are we up to now? So we need some part mappings. So at least now we know which file it's referring to when there's an error. There we go. Right, we're getting somewhere now. So building a variant. It doesn't know anything about all these parts. Now comes the tedious bit. But once you start using the same parts in multiple projects, this bit becomes much easier. So it says A1 with one of these, doesn't know what it is. Right, so what we've got is a name and a value on a placement that needs to map to a manufacturer and a part number. Right. Now, as luck would have it, I've already done some of this already. It's been a while. Let me see if I can find my files. All right, give me a moment while I dig out the appropriate file. Part mappings. All right. Okay, so we're going to see if we can borrow some of the stuff that I did previously. All right, so here's a part mapping. So the error that we had was unresolved mapping, no mappings found. Come on, that's it. So we're going to look in my existing part mapping file, which was for my other tool, and we're going to use the details from this in our new part mappings file. Here it is. So that's what I had before in my for use in my old tool. Right, we've got name, pattern, value, pattern, part code, manufacturer, and this is very similar format to what we need for the MakerPnP tool that we just made for the variant builder. So should we do this in Excel? Yeah. Shall we? I don't know. Best way of creating a CSV file. Should we just do it in a text editor in IDE? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's think about it. Yeah, why not? Right. So these are the files. Let's do it in Excel. Go on then. We'll do it in Excel. Part mappings. Oh. Do I not even have Office installed? I think I do. Yay. Right, so there's nothing in this file yet. So we need to know what headers we need to put in here. I don't remember what the headers are supposed to be, but it should be fairly easy to find out. Part mappings. Part mapping records. We can also look at our tests as well. But we'll just look at this. So EDA tool. So we need an EDA column. And we're going to see how far we get. We've got capital D, capital T, serialized, Pascal case. We're going to see what happens. And then we've got some fields. Okay, I need to refer back to the test because I can't remember what we're supposed to have here. It's good that we wrote some tests, isn't it? Right. So we need some part mappings. Test part mapping record. Do we have like some part mappings loader? Do we have some tests for this? I don't remember. Other than the unit tests? Who remembers? Have you got one where we've got a file with the things in? I don't think we have. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we don't have much test for these stores other than the functional test. Okay, so part mapping. And we've got fields, but we flatten them. Right. Right. So yeah, okay, this is a little bit funky, but it's fine. So we've got manufacturer part number, and then name and value is basically what we want. So we've got manufacturer MPN name and value, right? Now in our previous one, we've got the name. You gotta love Excel, don't you? I mean, really, just like. You just know that it's going to cause a problem. Ugh. Okay, we're going to see what happens. And the value is just going to be nothing. And the manufacturer is this one. And the manufacturer part number is this one. Right. I'm going to switch these two things around to make my life easier. Cut. Insert. Yeah. Right, and then we're going to save this. Then we're going to see what happens when we run the tool again. Missing field, EDA. Really? It looks like it's there to me. So we're going to try and see what Excel saved. Oh, it's just what is this? What is this? Oh, I see. It's being Excel, isn't it? You know, I don't know why I bother with it. Okay, Excel sucks. Look. Save as. Oh, I hate this. And then it's got tab delimited, even though the file is called CSV, which stands for comma separated values. Like, only Microsoft could screw up this stuff like this. Save. Yes. Only Microsoft could screw it up like that. Right. Just. And then, yeah, okay. So we've got some part mappings. So it should be okay now. Let's see what happens. Invalid integer. Right. That's because Microsoft sucks. still. Can we mark these as always being text? Do we get quotes? No. Do we have any options when we're saving this? Options? No. Oh, I hate Excel. Right. Okay, so, you know. Oh. Like, why is this tool complaining about a comma? It's value separator or comma. Let's just close this and reopen it. Like, how is this? It's a CSV file. It's just it's not a tab separated file. Why does it think it's got tabs? That's ridiculous. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Nothing. It's a CSV file. Why doesn't this plugin for IntelliJ recognize a CSV file? Okay, let's look at another CSV file. Here's one we made earlier. You know, it's got commas in it. Am I going mad? What's the difference? Like, seriously. Okay, look, I'm going to cut these out of here and paste them back in. No, doesn't fix it. Okay, I'm going to cut them to the clipboard. Paste them into here. And then just take these two lines from here and paste them in here. And you still get the same problem, like why? Why? Right, I'm copying and pasting two lines from the same file. Okay, let's copy a third line. No, you see, it's not my imagination, it's just broken right now. Okay, well, oh dear. Okay, let's invalidate caches and restart the IDE because it's confused. It's still very confused. Why is it so confused? Is it the line endings of the file or something stupid? Like what? Oh, it's because it's stupidness, isn't it? there's just random crap at the start of the file. It's got this EFBBBF thing, right? Because Excel put it there. Because Excel does stupid things like that. How can we remove that? My text editor doesn't show it because it's like some UTF, like UTF-8 thing, right? But it's confused. And then let's compare it to the diptrace file. Right, which doesn't have any random stuff at the start of it and therefore doesn't confuse the CSV editor in IDE. Do we edit it with a hex editor? Is this really what I have to do? I suppose it is, isn't it? Do we have XHD installed? No. Damn it. Can we change the encoding of a file in the IDE using the IDE? What's the chances of that? Where's my IDE even gone? Here it is. I can't even get to the file with my IDE. Override file type? No. File. No. What if we cut that from this file? Delete the file. Recreate the file. Go back to the IDE. XXD the file to make sure there's nothing in it, and then paste. Oh, great, it's lost my clipboard content. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Ah! Great. Thanks, world. Okay. Fine. Fine, we're just gonna type it in. Fuck's sake. Computers. Ugh. Name. Value. Look, and it's still got it. It's still confused. Just for fuck's sake. Look. Why? Okay, now it doesn't have it. Okay, perhaps now we can drag this into here. Not that one. This one. And it's still confused. What the fuck? Like, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Who knows? It's a CSV file. Look. Look, here's the content of it. There it is. It's a CSV file. What's the problem? Am I going mad? Have I lost the plot? Do I not know how computers work? Or is it someone else? Look, you've got single quotes, character 22. Single quotes, character 22. Then you've got the name of a field in ASCII. The name of a field in ASCII. Followed by single quotes and a comma and then the next one. Single quotes, a comma, and then the next one. Right? And then you repeat that. And then you'd end the line with 0D, 0A, 0D, 0A. Like, what's wrong with this file? Nothing. Okay, this is silly. This is, I should not have to do this. No. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. Name. Copy. And then maybe we did this. I don't remember whether we added wildcard support for this yet. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Right. Why this doesn't work, I do not know. But it is severely broken, this tool is. Like, it works for this one. Look, I mean, look, it works. You know, I can go in and edit it. That's all I want to do. But I just want to do it with this file. Broken. Please fix issues in the text editor. Add separator. Why would it add the separator like this? Why does it think it wants a tab there? Why? Okay. Let's see if we can find this stupid CSV thing. Editor. Default value separator, comma. Not tab. Why? What's this here? That's indents. What? Just my mind boggles right now. Auto detect. Close the file. Open the file. No, fail. What about more? I can't even click the more actions because as soon as I move the mouse away, the prompt disappears. Oh dear. Oh dear. Maybe there's some help on the plugin homepage. Installed CSV editor. Oh, there's an update. Maybe they fixed it. Restart the IDE. Go on then. No, still broken. It's a fucking CSV file. Okay, fine. Back to the settings. Plugin homepage. Look. Like documentation. Separator. CSV files highly good separated. Blah blah blah. Plugin supports file specific separator setting, predefined separatings. Blah blah blah. Plugin addition comes with a runtime lets support freely chosen separator. Well, how do I choose my separator for this silly plugin? How? Context menu. Right click within the table. Editor settings. Right? But Editor usage. Default value separator. Value separator. Auto detect is enabled. Newly created files. I didn't see it. I mean, I might have missed it. Right click. Ah, look, there's an option here. Comma. What? Why didn't it auto detect it? Look. Look, it was on auto detect and it's on comma. It's on comma and it said it wants a tab. Well, it's on video. I'm going to point the author of this tool at this yeah, maybe it'll get improved in the future. But apparently you can right click and then set it. Fine, moving on. So now we can use the table editor. Amazing. Right. What were we trying to do? What were we trying to do? We were trying to run our tool here. Part mapping record, line 1, byte 42. Who knew a leading zero would cause us so much problems? Like, why? CSV deserialize error, record 1, line 1. I mean, it's not even line 1 to start with. Right? Because line 1 is this. Is it zero-based index? Does it mean line 1 is actually line 2? Okay. Probably. So why does it even try to do this? Invalid type integer. First off, it's not an integer anywhere. Expected a string. It's got double quotes around it. It's a string. What do we do about this? Is Surday CSV broken? This isn't going well, is it? You know, that literally the first part that I try and do, it's got all these errors. It's like, why? 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 Okay. What can we do about this? This is very frustrating. Byte 42. Let's look at this. 16 bytes per line, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, yeah, 42, 16, 32, 48. Wait, what? My brain hurts now. Honestly, it does. 16. Yeah. 48 is here. So if it's 42, byte 42. Does it mean byte 42 of the second line? It probably does. So it's... What? Oh. Or is 42 the... What is this 42? I mean, it's kind of funny that it's 42, right? But, like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, anybody? Anybody? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 42. It's talking about this. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like 42. 42 in hexadecimal. Anybody? In decimal? Converted to hexadecimal? Decimal 42 to A. No. What is this? Byte 42. $32, $33, $34, $35, $36, $37, $38, $39, $40, $41, $42 is 0D. Out by 1, starting at 0. This one. Out by 1 the other way. 0A. No. Not that. So... what is that? Like... 42 converted to hexadecimal, so maybe if we get 42 in hex and converted to decimal, 66? Do we have a 66? No. I mean, there's one there. What is it? Okay, so this doesn't make any sense. And it's trying to do some weird conversion. So, I suppose... Surday CSV integer. Create reader, blah blah blah. What happens if we... do we have... let's make it print a record. Let's see what's going on. Part mapping. Stores. Part mapping. We've got a trace thing on. Let's do this. Let's just slap that up for a moment. Build it. seeing trace logs. We need to turn on like trace logging or something. Who remembers how to do this? We did it somewhere. Don't remember. Configure tracing. Yeah, at the moment we've got this info thing here. Let's temporarily set this to trace. We probably need to poke this around a little bit. Okay. So, loaded parts. And then it says deserialization error. Field none, kind message, invalid type, integer, expected a string. Doesn't really help. We'll put that back to info. Okay. Right. So let's have a look at this part mapping record. The part mapping record has two strings here, but the problem is this manufacturer part number here. Let's confirm that that is the issue by putting an A in front of it here. Right, but we've got two of them. Wait. Right. This one, it seems fine with. But it's also, it's got byte 42 again here. Only when you change both of them to not start with a 0 does it load them up. Let's take it off the first one. Oh, that's interesting. So it's this second one that it doesn't like, the name? Okay. That's interesting. So we've got this string here, and we've got a string of strings, right? And we're saying flatten it. So the idea is that if you've got any other things, any other fields in your CSV file, they just end up in this hash map. And it's string string, and the first string refers to the, it's supposed to refer to the column, and the second string is supposed to refer to the value. But clearly flatten is broken for CSV files, which is very annoying. Because it works for it when it's not flattened, but the whole point of this part mapping record is that you don't know which EDA tool you're using, so you specify the EDA tool value, and then anything that it doesn't know you just pull out from the part mapping records. Okay. fields. Let me get the name and the value out of it. Yes. Well, that's kind of buggered, isn't it? She. That feels like a bug to me. How are we gonna find? No, don't do that. How are we gonna deal with this? Do we think anybody else has the same issue? Flatten. Yes. Okay. Whew. I'm not the only person in the world to have this problem. So, when deserializing a string field, certainly CSV can handle a field. Right, it's fine. However, when doing the same to a flatter field, CSV can no longer deserialize 1, 2, 3 to a string field, and you get the error. You've got to inspect a string. Yes. Let's say +1 on this. Right. Oh, this is fantastic. As far as I can tell, there's no way to actually fix this without fundamentally changing the CSV format to be self-describing. And there shouldn't be a deserialized any information for this format at all. Well, that's probably hard to walk back at this point. Great. Oh, 2 days ago. Oh dear. Huh. Well, let's just say I ran into the same thing. Yeah. I ran into the exact same issue today. Let's have a look. And let's link up to the source as well. Do we have any unpush changes? Yes. Push. Let's link them up. What are we looking for? Source, stores, part mapping, isn't it? Part mapping. Yeah. That one. Any number of arbitrarily named CSV columns. Yeah. Need. Generates a CSV names or something like this. In my use case, I need to support any number of arbitrarily named, yeah, CSV columns, since each different EDA tool that generates placement CSV files, all need to have their own column names, and the part mappings file has to use the same column names too. Yeah. I suppose we'll print the error out as well. Let's make sure we've got the right content in it before we copy and paste the error message. Yes, we do. Let's do this as well. Copy that. Suggestions on workarounds or solutions. Greatly received. Greatly appreciate. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I suppose we can put Rust here. There we go. Can we do? Does it support CSVs? No. Well. I mean, it's not entirely line 1 of the first record. I don't really know. I don't know whether the byte number is 42 either. Anyway, that'll do. Right, so yeah, we're doomed. Like, why did it have to be the first part that we tried? I mean, really, what are the chances of running into this bug for which the authors responded like 2 days ago? Like 2 days ago. Like no movement for like 6 months. No, 8 months or so. And then magically 2 days ago. And then I run into it today. Like, what are the chances? What are the chances? So yes, using Serde Flatten on this is doomed. Well, that's a bit of a problem, really, isn't it? Because we kind of wanted to use that. Well, what are we going to do then? Like, What alternatives to flatten are there? Let's look at the other links that were posted. These ones. Yeah. Are we going to have to write our own deserializer for this? Is that what we're going to have to do? It feels like that's what we're going to have to do. Joy of joys. Now there is this Serde as thing, so like, let's have a look at that. Right. because we do have this, we are using this already. Oh, it's called survey with now. So I'm wondering whether you can use this survey with thing on a flattened field or something. Like, so instead of flattening it, I mean, I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We need sort of like a little test case for this, really, don't we? What have we got in our thing again? In our right, we've got a hash map. So if we comment out this, right, we kind of need to write a test case for this, don't we? This part mapping record. Yeah. Should we just try doing something daft? Let's do a Google search for survey as instead of flatten. Let's just see. I'm curious. That's the only one. Useful in conjunction with to ignore some entries. I mean, we don't necessarily want to do that. But what if we leave this flatten on, right? And then we go survey as, and then go survey as, and then we do what do we do? I mean, like, is it right? The column is this, but the other one might be this. Would this work? Something like this? Who thinks that might work? Yeah. Okay. Fine. We need to add this. That's fine. But what happens if we put string in it like this? What happens? No. Curious. What are the other examples that we've got of these? Yeah, we're not trying to get it to do that. Can it automatically be converted into it? Yeah, I'm sure this won't work. I just want to see what it says. Yeah. So we can't do this. What if you take off this flan? And it says deserialize as it's not satisfied. It doesn't really make any sense for this type that we're doing. It feels like we need to write our own custom deserializer for this, so that it always just does strings like all the time. Okay, right guys, I am going to call it there. I need some food. Broken. Fix me. I'm putting that there. So we need to fix this bug, or work around this bug, and before we can build this design variant, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. I thought we might actually be able to test a bit more of the process today, but we're running into an issue. So we'll continue with running through the process once I fix this bug, I suppose. So that's what I'll have a crack at doing after I've had some lunch. And yeah, so just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? I mean, really, just it's things like you've got today. Like, you won't expect that in a million years. But yeah, how hard can it be, right? It's only software.